Right now, a Labor Day rally at the state capitol. Fights for workers and union rights. Why state Democrats say Wisconsin is a leader in labor.
And it's a beautiful afternoon across central and southern Wisconsin. We're taking a live look there at the Duck Pond in downtown Madison, where we're seeing nothing but sunshine, but changes are on the way. Details in the full forecast.
And later, confusion over who will be able to get the updated COVID shot this fall. What guidelines are saying. Welcome to News 3 Now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. Eric and Sarah are off for Labor Day. Well, for many, today marks the last hurrah of summer as we celebrate the American worker. In doing so, hundreds gather at the state capitol today for a Labor Day rally. Our Maddie Himes brings us downtown where state Democrats call Wisconsin pivotal in the history of workers' rights.
Headlined by the Raging Grannies,
we want democracy,
and former chair of the Democratic Party of Wisconsin, Ben Wickler.
We will make this the most pro-worker state in the union.
Unions, minimum wage, workers' compensation, and collective bargaining serve as unsurprising themes of the Labor Day rally at the Wisconsin State Capitol.
Wisconsin! What's Wisconsin?
Put on by indivisible Dane County, Madison's Workers Over Billionaires rally is just one of nearly 1,000 gatherings across the country this Labor Day.
Unions that organize workers are not only defenders of workers, they're defenders of democracy.
And for ralliers in Wisconsin,
how many of us were here in those Act 10 protests?
Demonstrating for unions' rights isn't new.
We were all here fighting back then because we knew the stakes and we know them still.
So while many rally against nationwide policies,
Wisconsin, the state with the first workers' compensation law, the first progressive income tax, the first unemployment insurance law, Wisconsin, the birthplace of publicly recognized public sector unions.
For state Democrats, the federal fight begins in front of the Forward statue.
This is the state that led the way.
Reporting at the state capitol in downtown Madison, I'm Maddie Himes, News 3 Now.
Maddie, thank you. With the Labor Day holiday, those living in Madison who typically have their garbage picked up today will instead have to wait till tomorrow for it to be collected. The Madison Streets Division says those who normally get their trash picked up on Tuesdays will not be affected. The city's drop-off sites will also be closed in observance of the holiday. All lanes are back open on the Beltline near Airport Road in Middleton after a deadly crash this afternoon. It happened about half an hour before noon. Several squad cars from different departments responded to the scene. We now know that a motorcyclist died in the crash. We'll bring you more information as it comes in. Madison police are investigating a weekend shots fired call on the city's far west side. Officers were called to the intersection of Mineral Point Road and Whitney Way just before 8 o'clock Saturday night. Numerous people were on the scene and were located, but police say it does not appear anyone was hit by the gunfire. We're told no arrests have been made. Anyone with any information is in regards to the incident is asked to call and contact the Madison Police Department at 608-255-2345 or the Madison Area Crime Stoppers at 608-266-6014. We're learning more about a camper fire on Madison's east side. Madison fire officials say crews responded to a report of a semi-fire around 5:57 yesterday evening. However, once they arrived, they found a camper fully engulfed in flames. Fortunately, no one was injured, and crews were able to put out the fire in just 10 minutes after arriving on the scene. A portion of Helgeson Drive was also shut down for duration of the fire. The cause of the fire is currently under investigation. Now let's turn to weather. Here's meteorologist Blaze Keller with the first one forecast. Blaze, are we going to continue to be spoiled by this weather we're seeing right now? What's going on?
For one more day, yes, and then it is going to change a little bit. We got a couple of systems moving on through the Midwest, and they're going to bring down some cooler air. So enjoy the pleasant conditions for the rest of Labor Day and then into Tuesday as well. It's 74 in Madison. The humidity is still very comfortable at 45%. Southwesterly winds are going to help bump up our temperatures into those low 80s tomorrow. For now, though, not really seeing a lot of 80s out there. Maybe still a few spots in and around the Dells, but most of us have cooled off into those low to mid-70s. It's 74 in McFarland, Madison, 75 in Mount Horeb, and 73 in Perry. Now, many of the kids are going to be returning to school tomorrow. We're going to be returning to work. We're going to start off with a little bit of some fog. Temperatures in those 50s underneath plenty of sunshine. By the time we head on home, more partly sunny because we got to get ready for that next system moving in starting later Tuesday night into Wednesday. And as I mentioned, it is going to be cooling us all down. We'll talk about just how cold we'll get and who could maybe see some snow coming up in the full forecast.
Oh man, you just made me wince a little bit. Sounds good. Thank you, Blaze. A new bus route is set to hit the road tomorrow in Beloit. The new east-west route is replacing the Gateway route and will run year-round. Fare prices will remain the same with new discounts for veterans and students. The city is also launching a fare capping system and introducing WISC-Go. WISC-Go allows payments via the UMO app, with WISC-Go cards, Apple Pay, Google Pay, and credit and debit cards. Now, you might want to check your refrigerators. Taylor Fresh Food is recalling its honey balsamic salad kits due to a possible undeclared ingredient. The company says the salad dressing in the kit is actually the Asian sesame ginger dressing, which contains two major allergens, sesame and soy. The best if used by date is up to and including September 4th. No injuries have been reported yet. Consumers should throw it away and can get a refund at the store they bought it from. New guidelines creating confusion over how to get the updated COVID-19 vaccine. Many people may need a note from their doctor before getting vaccinated. The FDA's latest guidelines approves the shots for seniors and anyone older than 6 months with a condition that makes them high risk to severe COVID infections. Those people can walk right into a pharmacy to get the shot. For everyone else, Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said on social media, you need to consult with a doctor first. But 16 states are also still waiting on CDC approval, which could come later this month. Health experts say this confusion was preventable.
There is no new data on safety and efficacy that would warrant a change in guidance. What's changed is the process. So instead of having a transparent, science-driven policymaking process, what we are seeing now is vaccine policy being made by political fiat and even being announced on social media rather than through normal processes.
Moderna and Pfizer both say their vaccines will be available in the coming days. It's also unclear if all insurances will cover the shots and if pharmacies will require proof of a medical condition. Coming up next on News 3 Now at 6, mourning continues in Minneapolis following the deadly school shooting from last week. Plus, could the National Guard be deployed in Chicago, what President Trump is now suggesting?
You're watching News 3 Now at 6, moving forward.
Thank you for staying with us. This weekend, Mass was held at Annunciation Parish in Minneapolis, just days after the shooting there that took the lives of 2 school children and injured more than a dozen others. Across the city, ribbons wrapped thousands of trees and posts to send a message to the hurting families. A memorial is growing where the attack happened. There were also prayers at the Vatican as Pope Leo addressed the faithful.
Our prayers for the victims of the tragic shooting during a school mass in the American state of Minnesota. We include in our prayers the countless children killed and injured every day around the world.
One victim remains in critical condition. The Catholic Community Foundation is raising funds to support those impacted. No date has yet been set for Annunciation School to reopen. Expectations are growing in Chicago that it could be the next city to see National Guard troops on the streets. Today, President Trump used social media to suggest the Guard is needed in the nation's 3rd largest city to help eliminate crime. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson blasted the Trump administration's possible plans to send the National Guard to the Windy City to help reduce violent crime.
We're going to defend our democracy in the city of Chicago.
Before leaving the White House to play golf, President Trump posted on social media Monday, praising the mayor of Washington, D.C., where he deployed National Guard troops and urged officials in Chicago and other cities to do the same. The Trump administration is increasing its efforts to get personal information on tens of millions of voters nationwide. This comes as President Donald Trump asserts a larger federal role in elections ahead of next year's midterms. The 2026 elections will determine party control in Congress during Trump's last 2 years in office. In recent weeks, the Department of Justice sent state election officials letters seeking unredacted copies of states' voter registration databases. The information includes voters' names, birth dates, addresses, and driver's license numbers, or the last 4 digits of Social Security numbers. The DOJ said its goal is to ensure compliance with federal law requiring states to maintain accurate voter rolls. Some state officials have refused to comply with the demands, citing voter privacy. They say the DOJ is overstepping its authority. Still ahead, the Powerball jackpot is soaring. How much one lucky person could win tonight. Plus, this summer's extreme heat and excessive rainfall could impact the autumn colors, where you can see the best colors this year. And what kind of weather can we expect for the work week? Blaze has a complete forecast after the break.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
For some, it's time to break out the sweaters and pumpkin spice lattes. That also means looking forward to the fall foliage. Jen Sullivan looks at how this summer's extreme heat and heavy rains could impact the autumn colors and where the best places are in the U.S. to view them.
The end of summer means the vibrant green leaves will soon transition to the warm hues of orange, yellow, and red, turning mountain ranges into mosaics of fall colors.
It's a really great opportunity to just get yourself outdoors, look at something beautiful.
Brett Keller is the CEO of Priceline. The travel site recently came out with a list of the best places for leaf peeping this year, and clocking in at number 1 was the Hudson Valley region in New York.
We typically look at accommodation trends, and we also are able to understand how far away those consumers are from those accommodations.
These radiant colors generate a lot of green for local economies. In Vermont alone, the state estimates the fall foliage brings in around $1 billion in visitor spending.
It is a major driver of our tourism industry.
William Keaton is a professor at the University of Vermont. He says there are a variety of factors as to why some areas experience more vibrant colors than other regions. One being the vast contrast between temperatures during the day and at night, the variety of tree species, and the landscape.
Fall foliage is a delicate dance between a number of things, and climate is one of the most important.
This summer brought intense heat and excessive rainfall to parts of the country. Keaton says those extreme weather patterns impact how vibrant the colors will be and when the leaves will begin to change.
These kinds of extremes create stresses in trees. They begin to brown up and drop their leaves sooner than they otherwise would.
Keaton says climate change could also cause the fall foliage season to shorten over time. If you do want to carve out time to see the fall colors, they typically peak in the beginning of October in the Northeast. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
And if you do want to take a weekend trip to see the fall colors, Priceline has tips on where to stay and local activities to help you plan your trip. I wish Jen had mentioned Wisconsin. We've got some pretty nice places, but the nice weather is sticking around through tomorrow, but things could change up. Here's Blaze with the forecast. Blaze.
I would go as far as to say, not could, they are going to change as we head into really Tuesday into Wednesday of this week. So you got one more day to enjoy these nice conditions. Tonight, much like last night, clear to mostly clear, light winds with a little bit of fog developing as well. That'll stick around through probably the morning commute, and then we'll make way for more sunshine. Tomorrow is going to be, as I said, the last really nice day for some time, temperature-wise especially. Upper 70s to low 80s. Winds are going to be light. We're going to watch as clouds slowly start to increase out of the northwest as we go throughout the afternoon. That cold front with the first of 2 weather systems will be starting to inch its way closer throughout Tuesday. So the clouds are going to increase as we go throughout the day, leading to a rainy and cooler second half of the week. Primarily from Wednesday through at least Friday, we're going to be dealing with rain, wind, a combination of both, as well as some cooler temperatures as well. Jumping future track ahead to later Tuesday afternoon. Clouds starting to increase. Showers and thunderstorms, which shouldn't be severe, start to move into parts of Wisconsin. Overnight into early Wednesday, we get the first round of rain. The cold front doesn't actually pass until the afternoon. That's going to bring probably a better line of showers and thunderstorms. We're going to watch to see how far it makes its way into Wisconsin throughout Wednesday morning, because if it doesn't make its way far southeastward, we could see more of that line develop here and then push its way south and east. Then we dry out overnight and we stay dry primarily throughout Thursday, a little bit of cloud cover, and then we're back to dealing with more rain as we go into Friday. This is going to wrap up later Friday into early Saturday. That's the second low pressure system. The first one is going to be the bigger one that brings about the changes as well as likely the heaviest rain. Now, I mentioned earlier at the top of the show, some folks may see snow. I didn't say who. It's not us, at least here in southern Wisconsin. Maybe northern Wisconsin gets a few mixed snowflakes in there in extreme northern Wisconsin, but the real far northeastern parts of Minnesota could be dealing with at least some snowflakes as we go into early Thursday morning. This whole big area of low pressure finally kicks on out of the Midwest as we go into Saturday afternoon. Back at home, in terms of rain, we're looking about 1/4 of an inch in the dark green to about 1/2 an inch to 3/4 of an inch of rain from the dark blue to the lighter blue. Not a lot of moisture with this system, which is some good news. We don't really need to deal with any sort of minor, moderate, or major flooding after those devastating floods earlier in August. So we'll take the little bit of rain, get some moisture there into the ground. But in terms of heavy rain, this just isn't it. It's not coming out of the south, and there's not a whole lot of open water in Canada, as you guys know. So this isn't pulling a lot of moisture out of really anywhere. Upper 70s to low 80s Tuesday, upper 50s to low 60s on Thursday. That's about a 20-degree temperature swing in high temperatures in about 24 to 48 hours. And then it's a slow climb back into the 70s by that following work week.
I mean, even though it would be back in the 70s, it's low 70s, so
it's not too bad.
Yeah, not at all.
It could be much worse.
For me, it's the weather when I can step outside and like sweat without even like really moving. That's when I don't like it. But 70s, if you're not doing much, you're good.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think we had a nice taste of summer.
Yeah.
I think we deserve a long, just mild fall and the shortest winter possible.
I mean,
snow
that would be
on Christmas
ideal.
And then it's out.
All right, well, sounds good. Thank you, Blaze. And here's a great way to celebrate your Labor Day. Win something big so you never have to work again. Tonight's Powerball jackpot is up to $1.1 billion. It's the 5th largest prize in the game's history. If you're lucky, ticket matches all 6 balls. You can choose from 2 options. The $1.1 billion annuity, 1 check right away, followed by 29 annual payments, or a one-time payment of nearly $500 million. Of course, both options are before taxes. Gary F. Morales of New York feels confident he's got the winning ticket and already has plans.
Just take care of my family, take care of my neighborhood, take care of my city, you know, help. What you gonna do with all that money?
Remember, the odds of winning are minuscule, 1 in 292 million. But hey, you never know. If you don't get lucky tonight, tomorrow's Mega Millions is over 300 million.
And I certainly would have said the odds of the Packers getting Micah Parsons were even lower than the odds of winning. I would have thought so before last week.
I mean, I think I'm right there with you. Of all the places to send him to an opponent in the NFC.
It's quite confusing, but still to come in sports. If you still thought you were dreaming about this whole situation, you can wake on up. Micah Parsons puts on the green and gold for the first time. The impact his teammates say that he can make. Next on News 3 Now. No, you were not dreaming. Micah Parsons is a Green Bay Packer. The all-world pass rusher wore the green and gold for the first time today, but practiced in a limited capacity. He says he's trying to play in Sunday's season opener against the Lions that will air right here on News 3 Now, but it's no sure thing. He sat out of Cowboys training camp due to a back injury that's still impacting him. One thing, however, is for certain. When he does take the field, he will be a nightmare.
Shoot, his play speaks for itself. His name speaks for itself. I feel like the sky's the limit for him. The sky's the limit for our defensive line group, and just great. Can't wait to see him go.
He's a great player. Nightmares for the opposite side of the ball. You know, like half's gonna have a pretty fun time with us. So ready to look towards that.
The MVP of Wisconsin football's Week 1 win was their defense. More specifically, their sixth-year senior safety, Preston Zachman. In the fourth quarter, he had not one, but 2 interceptions, sealing the victory and the Big Ten's Defensive Player of the Week award. And an award that he thinks the entire defense deserves. Not just him, the defense as a whole did not allow a single point to Miami in that win. If you're asking me, Bryce Terang was the best player in baseball in August. Let's look at some numbers. As a rookie, Terang hit 6 home runs. Last season, he hit 7 home runs. Last month alone, he hit 10 home runs. The Crew's Keystone is budding into a full-blown superstar in front of our eyes, but that wasn't just in August. Leads off today's game against the Phillies with a solo shot. This one in the 9th as we speak, tied at 8-8.
And we are going to be quiet for Tuesdays. We're heading back to work and the kids are heading back to school. And then it all changes on Wednesday. So bundle up. It'll be a cold Thursday.
All right, sounds good. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you back here at 10.